Good morning, guys. This is the way I see things. You and myself are already the entrepreneurs of our mindset. If everything in the world, all human beings, we all have a thought space, think of the thought space in the world. It's all connected, it's all energy. So, if that's the case, if we understand that, then it is our responsibility every single day to live our life in whatever we do, whatever job we have, even if we're a student, whatever it is that we're doing, whatever thing that we do, it is our job to be entrepreneurs of creating our own mind space, our own thought space. And you have the ability to make it the most positive thought space possible. And that will affect everything around you. So think about that today. It's helped me so much. I hope it helps you. Have a great day, everybody.
Shine, it's espresso time. Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and successful people don't wake up every day and say, yes, today is going to be amazing. The difference is they have a powerful morning routine, like watching one of these videos, that set them up for success. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and get ready for a shot of espresso from Marissa Peer.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
You know, many, many years ago, I was trying to get a book deal, and I'd put on a little talk about how to lose weight, because my book was all about that. And I hadn't sold hardly any tickets, so I cancelled it. And the same day, my agent called me and went, oh my gosh, I've got 6 different publishers who want to come to your talk. I'm like, well, I've just cancelled it. She went, put it back on, quick, because they're all coming. And it was that weekend, and I think she called me on a Thursday night. So on the Friday, I rang all my friends, everyone. I said, come to this talk, it's completely free. And I got lots of people to come because I knew that 6 major publishing houses were coming to this talk. And she told me one of them was definitely going to give me a deal, if not all of them. So I only had Friday. And on Friday, I could have spent ages planning the talk, but you know, I didn't. I actually made a mood board. I thought that's a good thing. So on Friday night, I had an old picture and I took it out of the frame and I started to stick things in it. And I wrote, Marissa Peer gets a great book deal. I cut out the Times best-selling list and I stuck it in there and wrote on it, my book, You Can Be Thin. And I did lots and lots of pictures that Marissa makes people thin. I went through magazines, I cut stuff out, I wrote some checks out there. I made this mood board really exciting, and I just looked at it and looked at it and looked at it. And it made me so excited about my talk. And the next day I went off and I did the talk, and lo and behold, at the end, somebody came up to me and she said, oh my God, I love that talk, and we want you to come in on Monday and we're going to offer you a book deal straight away, and we'd really love you not to meet the other 5 publishers because we want you. So that was very exciting. And in fact, I did end up signing with them, and it all was wonderful. But I know it was that mood board that helped me, because it took my mind to where I wanted to be. It made me focus only on success. Of course, the mood board doesn't say things like, well, I might not make it. The mood board has success. So let's imagine you want to be a therapist. That's what your vision is, or a photographer. Maybe you want to be a chef. I want you to imagine you've got a mood board and you fill it up with pictures. If you want to be a chef, pictures of great food, reviews from restaurants, and of course you're going to cross out the name of the chef and write your name in instead in black marker pen. So find lots of reviews and put your name in, and then write all over the mood board too. Let's say your name is Alexandra Richardson. You're going to put Alex Richardson instead of that chef, and you're going to put lots of reviews. And let's say you found the top 10 best restaurants, and you're going to call your restaurant The Fox. And so you cross that and you put The Fox, Alex Richardson's restaurant, The Fox, and just keep looking at that. And you write all over your mood board all the things that work for you. People love this restaurant, the best restaurant in wherever you live in the world. The food here is amazing. And then you look at lots of interviews with chefs, and you imagine your interview and you put it up there. You can even mock one up. That's what printers afore. So mock up an interview, mock up everything, and look at that mood board. Mock up all the things that you're going to cook that are going to give you pleasure. Mock up the cookery book you're going to write. Mock up so much stuff. You know, a couple of years ago I was asked to work with probably the angriest kid I've ever worked with in my life. And when we started to work, he said, you know, no one loves me, I have no love in my life. And I realized that his anger was actually incredible pain, but I talked to him and I asked him what he was good at. He said nothing. So I asked him what he loved, and he said cooking. So we talked about that a bit. And he's ended up being a phenomenally successful chef. He's got a great girlfriend. He went to work for other chefs. He's now got his own restaurant. His life has changed dramatically because I found one thing that he loved and focused on his purpose and the reason he was here. And he loved cooking so much that I knew straight away that that's what he was meant to do. And now he's doing it, and his life has changed 360 degrees. Mood boards have been proven over and over again to stimulate your brain, to excite your imagination, to keep your focus on where you want to go.
You need to create an environment of excellence. Excellence. Most people's environments are not excellent. The people around you, the videos that you watch, the things that are on your wall, the voices that are in your head, you have these moments that are bold, that are courageous, that make you feel unstoppable and you can do anything, and then you fall back down because the environment is the thing that's keeping you small. It takes a giant effort to overcome your environment. You definitely can. It's definitely possible. Tons of people are doing it, but it takes that giant effort to say, I don't want to stay stuck here. Most people stay stuck. Most people make minimal improvements in their life year over year. And if you don't want to stay where you are right now, fast forward to 1 year from today, you don't want to stay stuck. You want to be in a different place. Could actually be physically moving, but a different place in terms of your finances, in terms of your purpose, in terms of how much you're giving and caring and sharing and the life that you want to build. You want to be somewhere totally different. Like today, this is not acceptable anymore. I accept that this is where I am right now, but where I end up is not going to be the same spot as where I am right now, right? If that's your commitment, the biggest shift that will help you get from where you are now to where you want to be is creating that environment of excellence. What's the fastest way to learn a language? What's the fastest way to learn Japanese? Well, it's to go to Japan. Sure, you can read some books and you can hire a tutor, and the more intense it becomes, the more you're actually living it, the faster you're going to pick it up. So if you want to develop the mindset of the high achiever, if you want to become that person, the people that you look up to, the whoever of the world, like I want to be the next whoever, perfect, that person. The more you hang around with them, the more it's going to rub off on you how they think. Because how they think, how they act, how they behave, how they see the world is very different than how you see it right now, and how the people around you definitely see the world right now. So how do you do it? How do you start to become it? Well, I look at what I'm doing. And this was one of my biggest challenges when I was getting started, and honestly still in. Like I think the biggest problem in the world is a lack of belief. I'm trying to solve the world's biggest problem. People don't believe in themselves enough. I don't, you don't, Oprah doesn't. People don't believe in themselves enough for the next level. So how do you start to believe in yourself more? The thing that helped me the most was to have these successful people around me constantly. And so I want to share a few tactics that I think can really help you, that has really helped me as being the shy, introverted kid who never wanted to be in front of a camera and was making $300 a month and quit on my business partner and thought life was over, right? To now here. And it's taken me 20 years to get here. So hopefully we can shorten that path for you if you actually follow some of the advice in this video. So step number one, how do we create that environment of excellence? What you feed into your brain really matters. So figure out how you love to learn. For me, it's videos. I like to see things. I need to be visual. If that's you, then you need to have a way to have those videos coming into your life every day. It could be part of your morning routine. That's why I make this channel. Part of your morning routine. Subscribe to the channel every morning, every weekday. We got a new video out there for you to give you the shot of espresso to help you. But if it's not my channel, it's some other channel, one of my other channels, Subscribe to the channels that make you feel bold, powerful, unstoppable, give you hope, give you belief in yourself. And then watch that video every day, or listen to that podcast every day, or read that book every day. The trick is it can't be the same book or the one video, because that one video on repeat is going to lose its effectiveness, right? You know it. You watch a video, it gets you all fired up, and then you watch it again the next day, and it's not as like, oh, what happened? I don't feel as good. And you watch it the next day, and the feeling's gone. So you can't just read the same book over and over, watch the same video over and over and over again. The key is to find a consistent source. So if you love this channel or you love this video, I'm making other videos just like this that you can subscribe to. If you like an author, go find their other books, or go find the people that inspire them so that you can read something every day. If you like a podcast, go find other podcasts like them so you have something every day. So you are manipulating what comes in your head with intention now. With intention. So you're not just scrolling through things like, I am going to watch one of these videos every day to slowly shift myself forward. Because it'll happen. If you love Elon Musk and you watch Elon Musk every day, what will happen is slowly, day by day, you will start to think like Elon Musk. It will happen. He will pull you forward. You will start to see the big difference in how he thinks versus how the people around you think versus how you think right now. And he will give you more courage and more boldness and more a sense of hope and purpose that you can do it too. You'll start to think more like him. So be careful who you pick, and maybe you don't like Elon Musk, maybe you like Kanye West or Oprah Winfrey or whoever, but the more you're around that person, the more you will start to think like them. So you want to put that as part of your daily routine, that every day, because yesterday was a different day. You might have been fired up, bold, motivated, great, but today's a new day. The motivation you had yesterday is nowhere near what it is right now when you wake up, right? You get the best day of all time, you wake up the next day and it's gone. So how do you keep the consistency? The routine. Tell yourself, I'm going to watch a video even when I don't want to, even when I feel low energy, even when, right, all the excuses we come up with, I'm going to watch a video to get myself into the state I need to get into, because I want to follow my dreams. I don't want to be stuck here anymore. Tied to that is then subscribe to the channels that make you feel that way. So do an audit of all of the channels you follow on YouTube, of all the people you follow on Instagram, anywhere you're spending time on social. Do an audit of who makes you actually feel more bold and who makes you just waste time, or who makes you feel bad about yourself. There's some people you probably follow who, when you look at their stuff, it actually makes you feel worse about yourself. Unfollow those people immediately, right? They don't care about you, so why are you caring about them? And then the people who make you feel better, follow them, subscribe to them, so that when you happen to be on the platform, when you happen to be going through YouTube or Instagram, you see them and it makes you remember why you're doing what you do. So the first part of it is a habit. We are designing our routines around this, that I'm going to watch a video every day with my heroes so that they pull me forward, right? We're putting it into our calendar. The second part of it is I'm also going to subscribe to channels and people that inspire me, so that when I happen to be on the platforms, I'm feeding myself with things that inspire me and lift me up instead of waste my time or put me down. Okay. So that habit, that environment really, really matters. The second part of environment, to create our environment of excellence, right, is the physical environment. So this office inspires me. This office, this was all with intent. The people on the wall behind me, we got Steve Jobs, A.P. Giannini, my parents, Howard Schultz, Kanye West, the trophies, the YouTube stuff, the getting my hands wrong here. This side, the art, the art that people drew, my book, my neck brace from when I broke my neck, like even the colors on the wall, all of this, it inspires me. This inspires me. When I walk into this office, I want to believe more in myself. I see Steve Jobs staring me down. I see my parents staring me down. It's like a reminder of what I want to do, because I wake up and I don't have the most energy. I don't feel super bold and like, let's go take on the day, right? I don't have that as soon as I wake up. But we manufacture it through the habits and routines, but also the actual physical environment. And the beauty about this is you only have to set it up once. I set this up once and then I walk in, and every day I'm being hit with these messages and reminders of the person that I want to be. So whether that's a mood board you put up for yourself, whether it's people that inspire you, You have to look at the thing, and it inspires you to want to push a little harder. It inspires you to want to believe in yourself and more. It inspires you to want to go off and take some kind of action today. The physical environment matters a lot, and you can control that. So think about your office, think about your bedroom, think about your car, think about where you're spending significant time, and how much of that has actually been done with intent. How much of your physical environment has been created with intent to make you believe in yourself more? It matters a lot. And then the third thing, really quick, is your outfit, the clothes that you wear, how you show up for yourself. When I put this on, I remind myself that I'm a superhero going to work. That might sound really dumb or cheesy, but you know what? It works for me. I am a superhero going to work. I'm not fighting crime. I'm fighting lack of belief. I want people to believe in themselves more, and I'm going to work. When I see, there was a Green Arrow show I used to watch, and when they were in their base and their lair, they always put their outfits on a mannequin, right? So when they're off fighting crime, they're in their uniforms, but then when they come back to their base, they're in normal clothes, but they put their outfits on a mannequin. So I went and got myself a mannequin. It's just, you can't see it, but it's just sitting here off camera. I got a mannequin, and it's got my hoodie on it as a reminder that I'm a superhero going to work every day. And again, that might sound really cheesy or dumb or corny, but I like it. It works for me. And putting this on every day, instead of just showing up in my pajamas, I work from home. You know, we've got 30-something people on the team. I don't see my team physically that often. Most people work from home. I could just show up every day in my pajamas. But putting this on reminds me that I'm a superhero with a mission. Whether you want to adopt that or not is up to you, but how you present yourself for yourself, not just for the camera. I'm not putting this on just for the camera. I'm putting this on because this is what I put on. This is for me. I could make a video in my pajamas. That's fine. But I'm making this for me. I wear this for me. What do you need to do for you? Not just because there's some expectations. When your expectations of yourself become higher than what you think other people's expectations are for you, that's when the game starts to change. When I'm wearing something just because of how I think you guys will perceive me, or some speech I'm doing or some meeting, I'm only living up to that person's standards, or what I think their standards are. Instead, no, I'm doing this for me. I wear this for me. I show up like this, even if I'm not making any kind of content. I only make content once a week, usually for YouTube. What am I doing the other days of the week? I'm still wearing this because I'm a superhero going to work, and it's my reminder. This is how you start to create an environment of excellence, guys. Your environment is keeping you where you are. Your environment is keeping you stuck. And if you don't want to be stuck anymore, if you want to change your circumstances, if you don't want to be in the same spot you are right now 1 year from today, you have to create an environment of excellence. How do we do that? Number one, we start feeding our mind with excellence from the videos and podcasts and books from people who inspire us. Number two, we change our physical environment so that you walk into a room, you walk into your car, you walk into your bedroom or office or wherever you're spending time, and it pushes you forward to step into the person that you want to be. And then number three, the outfits, what you wear, how you present yourself, having a higher standard for yourself than what other people expect, that you are a superhero going to work every day because you are on a mission. You've got a great heart. You've got tons of ideas. I see it over and over and over and over and over again. So much potential, and just stuck because there's a lack of momentum that stems from having a really poor environment. If you can just change with intention that I am going to create an environment of excellence for myself that inspires me and pushes me forward to step into the person I want to believe that I can be, if you can do that every day, your entire life will change. Now, I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the good deed of the day. This is something new. I believe that you're built to serve, and it feels so good to do something nice for somebody else. So good deed of the day, put down in the comments one thing that you need help with, that you're working on, that you'd love some support or guidance on. And then two, go comment on somebody else's comment and give them some love, give them some support, give them some encouragement, maybe give them some connections, try to help them solve that problem. Even if it's saying, I believe in you, that one little bit of encouragement can be the difference between somebody quitting and continuing on. So the good deed of the day in the comments below, Write down one thing that you need help on, that you're struggling with, that you're working on. And then part 2 is go give love to somebody else in the comments too, and let them know that you believe in them as well.
Take control of your mind and your thoughts and focus on your breathing. Feel the power of you, the real you, controlling your breathing. The real you is always present right now. You are more powerful than you can ever begin to imagine, because you get to focus on the greatest gift ever. Now, your presence, where your attention is being drawn to now, no matter what's going on outside your mind. Feel the power of your breathing. There are astronomical numbers of things going on in one breath. powerful you are. That's how powerful your determination is. So let's use that power. Let's use that third eye, that mind's eye that we all have. Let's use it right now. And let's see ourselves doing the best we can on all the stretches and exercises today in our gym period. Gym. G-Y-M. Grow your mind. And here we are in the gym of life. Growing our minds and growing our bodies. Taking control of what we truly are. Simply being. Human being. The most powerful energy thing in the universe. That's who you really are. So see yourself right now. See it in your mind. Because whatever you see in your mind, you can make real with your eyes open. Everything created with your eyes closed can be made real with your eyes open. Good morning, determination. Good to see everyone again. Here we are once again, working together on our minds and our bodies. When I say go, we're going to start jogging for a minute on the spot, or you can simply keep doing your best walk. It's up to you. But whatever you do, remember, do it to the best of your ability. Do it the way you were born to do it. Because the way you do one thing, the way you think one thing, is the way you'll do and think about everything. All right, here we go. Ready? And go. Feel the power of you right now. Growing your mind, growing your body by simply doing your best. Your best jog on the spot. Or if you're walking, your best walk ever. Feel the power and energy of our blood beginning to flow through different parts of our incredible bodies. Keep going, keep going. Use your determination. Use your greatest power. Almost there. Keep going. And stop. All right, back to our best walk. If you aren't already doing your best walk. But again, feel the power of you regaining control of your breathing, focusing your attention on your breathing. Your breath can always bring you to your greatest gift. But now, right now, your presence. All right, everybody, let's do shoulder rolls. 10 forward. Here we go. Okay, good. And backwards. 10 backwards. All right, and arm circles forward. 10 forward. As big as you can. Really think about what you're doing. Once again, feel your body moving through space. As you work big arms circles forward. And backwards. Again, 10 backwards. 1, 3, 4. All right, good job. Okay, and hands on our hips, bend our knees, and side stretch. 5 on each side. All right, excellent. Now twist our bodies. We'll do 10, 5 on each side. Keep your feet flat on the floor. All right, excellent. Let's do 5 push-ups. Try our best. Here we go. Good. Let's do 5 sit-ups. Here we go. And just stay. Just feeling the power of all of us working together, right? All right, and let's stand up and let's do lunges. Here we go. 3 on each side. Okay, good. And let's do 10-second plank. Bring his knees off the ground. Hold it there for 10. Keep focusing on your breath. Okay, and stand up. Let's do 5 squats. Here we go. 5 best squats ever. All right, excellent, good. And let's reach for the sky or the ceiling wherever you are on your toes. Here we go. We're never going to get there. We're never going to get to that ceiling. But it's the process. It's the reaching. That's the pure joy. Happiness, joy is in a moment. Nobody can take that away from you. All right, and reach for your toes. Once again, reaching is what matters. It's okay if you don't touch your toes. All right, and come on up. Let's grab one leg and balance. Once again, bend that other knee if you have to. Imagine you've got roots growing underneath your feet, pushing or growing into the ground. See that in your mind's eye, where everything is breathing. All right, and switch, the other one. Excellent. And now let's hug our knee. Here we go. Again, find that balance point. Everything you do is all about finding that balance. It's in a stretch. It's in an exercise. It's in a thought, a word. It's everything. All right, good work. And switch. Constantly strive to find our balance, our own unique balance. Among the balance of this universe, the balance of all of us together. All right, good. And let's sit down. And let's reach for our toes, straight knees. Hold it for 10. Okay, let's do a V shape with our legs and reach for the floor as far away from your body as you can. And reach for one side. Hold it there. 10 seconds again. And switch to the side. And feet together. And gently push your knees down with your elbows. Hold it there. Okay, one leg forward, one leg back. Keep your knee on the ground. Go as far back as you can without hurting yourself, of course. Put through for 10. Feel that pull on the front leg. Front of your thigh. That's on the okay, and switch. I love you, son. I love you, universe. I love you, everyone. Determination. Let's do our best in everything we do. Let's be present right now. Alrighty, and let's do a cobra stretch. Roll onto the floor and push the floor and look up at the ceiling or sky, wherever you are. Feel the awesome, awesome power of everything. Of you. Right here, right now, wherever you are. We are aligning together for the purpose of being our best. Alright, and legs crossed again. Back straight. Eyes closed. Once again, feel that power of your breathing. That's you. That's the true, real, and great you taking control of your breath. Now use that same you, that real you, to be your best when that music goes on whatever exercise you choose today. We're going to have 2 songs playing here. I'm going to have 2 songs. I'm going to visualize myself doing as many sit-ups as I can for one song, and as many lunges, alternating legs as I can for the other song. I'll start off with sit-ups. How about you? What are you going to visualize right now within the space that you have to work with? Keeping in mind the most important thing, your safety. You know how to follow the rules. You know the rules. You're made of the rules of the universe. You're made of truth principles that are designed and there to keep you safe, healthy, and happy, and free, and peaceful. Same way you do your best on these exercises, when that music goes on, it's the same way you'll do everything. Alright, here we go. Sit-ups for me. What's it going to be for you? One of my favorite songs, One Love. Love you, Bob Marley. Whoever you are, love you all. We are one love. Here we go. Feel the joy. Working on being your best right now. Feel your determination. Feel that energy. That true energy that makes us one and whole when we unite. Wherever you are. In your home, wherever you are, we can still do our best. we can still control the power of our determination to grow our minds and to grow our bodies. More importantly, to grow our energy that we were born with. That infinite intelligence is who we really are. All right, next is lunges for me. See how many I can do with this song. Here we go. What about you? Are you doing jumping jacks? Are you doing push-ups? Are you dancing? Are you freeing your spirit through your body movement in a safe way? Whatever you're doing, do it with determination. Here we go. Body might have limits, but our mind and our spirit doesn't. There are no limits. We work on our bodies, we get to work on our spirits, our energy, the greatest power that is in everything and anything. Feel the joy of this moment right now. Wherever you are, you can still unite through amazing technology created by human beings, by infinite intelligence. What makes you infinitely intelligent? No matter what. Never let anything, anyone tell you otherwise. Whatever it takes, you have to know and be who you were born to be. Be your best. You're a born winner. Just by being here right now, doing what you're doing. Your energy will never. Demonstration of your greatest power is how you can focus on right now. No matter what's going on around you, you can still take control of your breathing. As tired as you might be getting. More proof. But you don't need proof. It's everywhere. I see it everywhere. I feel it everywhere. I feel your energy wherever you are. Thank you. Thank you for all you do. Make me who I am. Feel the power of you determining to be grateful right now for this. And we end as we begin. Legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth. Well, the truth is, there's no ending. Today we started, beginning like we always do, with our eyes closed, imagining going into the future. Only you can do that. Only we can do that. It's all possible through the power of our mind and our thoughts. But we have to control that mind and those thoughts. Because even they are not who we really are. To control our minds, to master our minds, we have to simply be here, now, present. That's our super determination. Imagine all of us united with our thoughts, mind and body, as one, all together, right now. That in itself is infinite intelligence. And so as we end today, with our eyes closed, our back straight, our legs crossed, we know the truth. We're not really ending. It's never really over. We were all born to win. To be happy, peaceful, loving, kind, caring, mind wealthy, no matter what. That's the truth. The way we do that is now. Right now. That's why they call it presence. This is the greatest gift we have. Right now. I love you all so much. Have a great day, determination. Have a great week. Remember the truth. Right now is your greatest power. And now just keep doing that. Focus. Right now. I love you all. Have a great day, a great week, and a great life always.
Scan myself in 1991, it wasn't good. And just the week before, I'd scanned my 60-year-old mother, and she had a gorgeous brain. And so I created brain envy. I wanted her brain. So here I am, I'm a double board certified psychiatrist. So for people who don't know what that means, so I'm a general psychiatrist and I have a specialty in kids. I'm a child and adolescent psychiatrist. I'm a physician. I'm highly educated and I don't care at all about my own brain, right? I love watching football on Sunday, and when I saw my brain, I'm like, ouch, this can be better. And so how do you make it better? Well, the second thing is you avoid anything that hurts it. And I have a mnemonic we can talk about called Bright Minds. It's, if you want to keep your brain healthy, you have to prevent or treat the 11 major risk factors that steal your mind. So brain envy, gotta care, avoid things that hurt it, do things that help it. And so what have we learned? That exercise boosts blood flow to the brain. Not believing every stupid thing you think calms the anxiety centers in the brain. Things like omega-3 fatty acids get your gut right, because your gut makes most of the neurotransmitters in your body. Well, the little tiny habit for brain health is before you go to make any decision, you ask yourself, is this good for my brain or bad for it? And if you love yourself, because it's never about should. As soon as you think you should do something, you won't do it. Just because we're all 4 years old in our head and rebellious. It's, you answer the question in a positive way because you love yourself, because you love yourself, your wife, your life, your mission. That's why you do the right thing. Because too often people go, oh, well, I can't have this and I can't have that. And as soon as you get into that deprivation mindset, it's not going to work.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like 9 to 9. For my top 10, top 10, 9 to 9. This one's for my top.
Harry Potter and the Cursed Child arrives in Toronto next June. A brave new generation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Dr. Daniel Amen, and my take on his top 10 rules for success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, watch your weight.
Tech companies continue to create addictive gadgets that steal our attention and distract us from our loved ones. Microsoft just published a study that said the human attention span is now 8 seconds. A goldfish is 9 seconds. This is evolution going the wrong way. A study in the Harvard Business Review said that only 10% of managers have both focus and energy. It's a war. And the war has consequences. Your bad habits have consequences. We know Alzheimer's disease is expected to quadruple in the next 35 years. There is no cure for it on the horizon, and 50% of people 85 and older will be diagnosed with it. And the really bad news, what we now know based on imaging, it starts in your brain literally decades before you have any symptoms. So this 59-year-old woman I diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, these are SPECT scans, it's the imaging studies we do at our clinics around the United States. The image on the left is a healthy scan, the image on the right is a 59-year-old woman who has Alzheimer's disease. Odds are she had negative changes in her brain in her 20s. So those of you that are waiting to get sick before you get serious about being well, you want to rethink that. In addition, depression has gone up 400% since 1987, and it is one of the major risk factors for Alzheimer's disease, as is diabetes. Brand new study showed that 50% of the United States, and this is because of the food we eat, we are either diabetic or pre-diabetic. And diabetes damages every organ in your body. It's not just a blood sugar problem. It turns out to be a blood vessel problem, and any organ that's deprived of blood flow is damaged. And then, as I mentioned, I published 2 studies that said as your weight goes up, the actual physical size and function of your brain goes down. And with 2/3 of Americans overweight, 1/3 of us obese, it is the biggest brain drain in the history of the United States. In fact, it's now considered a national security crisis because 70% of people who try to sign up for the military are rejected, and the #1 reason is weight problems.
Rule number 3, practice diaphragmatic breathing.
Is it the pandemic, or were you anxious before all this happened? Anxiety disorders are the #1 common cause, the #1 cause of mental health issues. After an anxiety episode, people, they're just worn out because it's taken so many energy from them. Okay, so what to do? And I have taught you on these live chats how to do diaphragmatic breathing, but it's this one pattern. If you just do it 10 times, a couple of times a day, less than 2 minutes each, take a big breath, 3 seconds in, and hold it for a second. and then take 6 seconds to breathe out. And then hold it out for a second. And then repeat that 10 times, less than 2 minutes. It triggers the opposite of a sympathetic fight or flight response. It triggers something called a parasympathetic response. You do that 10 times, you will feel so much better. And then as you're breathing, I want you to think about what you're really thinking about. I call them ants, automatic negative thoughts. These are the thoughts that come into your brain automatically and ruin your day. Automatic negative thoughts, ants. During a pandemic, you get infested. And the ants link, stack, and then they attack. And while you're breathing, I just want you to what am I thinking about? And then when you're done, write them down. And then kill them. You have to develop an internal anteater.
Rule number 4, take on your brain early.
Here are 2 SPECT scans, healthy on the left. So SPECT looks at blood flow and activity, looks at how your brain works. MRI and CT, they look at structure, SPECT, PET, functional MRI, quantitative EEG, they look at function. And quite frankly, most mental health issues are functional, they're not structural. Here's someone who had a stroke. Now, she actually came to the hospital because she was depressed, and her neurological exam was normal, but you can see a quarter of her brain is missing, it's dying. This is what Alzheimer's disease looks like. You can see where the back half of the brain is deteriorating. And the scary thing about Alzheimer's is it starts in your brain decades before you have any symptoms. So those of you that are young, that are sort of waiting till you're older to get healthy, you might want to rethink that, because you don't want your brain deteriorating at any age.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5, question your thoughts.
I don't know about you, but I wasn't expecting 2020 to be this.
Whenever I see someone, so if you came to see me, I'm always thinking about the 4 circles of your life. So I'm thinking about your biology. So with anxiety, my first thought is areas in your emotional brain just are working too hard. And so it's driving that anxiety. So what's the biology? What's the psychology, which is how do you think, and the environment that you grew up in? What's the social circle? Because if you're around a lot of irritated, angry, negative people, you're more likely to be anxious. And what's the spiritual circle? Why do you care? Why you're on the planet? What's your deepest sense of meaning and purpose? So I'm always thinking bio, psycho, social, spiritual. And that way I end up helping whole people, not just, oh, you're anxious, take Xanax, because that's the quick answer. That if you go to Kaiser, for example, and I just hired a doctor from Kaiser and he saw 25 patients a day. So the 25 patient a day answer is Xanax, is let me give you a benzo. And the problem with it is once you start it, it's insidious. It changes your brain to need it in order to feel normal. And so I'm like, so how else can we quell your anxiety? So there's some simple supplements like GABA, or one of my favorites, magnesium, that can be really helpful. But the psychological one, there was one day I was at work and I saw 4 suicidal patients, and that's hard for me. And then I saw 2 couples who hated each other, and 2 teenagers who ran away from home. And so at the end of the day, I was worn out, and I came home to an ant infestation in my house. And I'm cleaning up thousands of ants, and I'm like, and then it just hit me, ant, automatic negative thoughts. My patients are infested. And the next day, I went to work with a can of ant spray, and I put it on my coffee table, and I'm like, we need to help you get rid of these things that are infesting your mind. And they liked that. It was just something they could grab onto. So here's the exercise. Whenever you feel sad or mad or nervous or out of control, I just want you to write down what you're thinking. And ask yourself if it's true. Pick a thought, any thought you want to share, and I'll teach you how to put a stake in it.
This is never going to work.
Okay. So here are the 5 questions. Is it true?
It certainly could be true, yeah.
But is it true?
I can't say definitively.
I don't know.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I am not a fan of positive thinking. I am not.
Interesting.
Positive thinking kills way too many people. I'm a fan of accurate
What do you mean
thinking.
it kills too many people? What do you mean?
So they did a study at Stanford, 1921, on 1,548 10-year-old children. And they followed them for 90 years, looking at what goes with success, health, and longevity. And it wasn't the don't worry kids. It wasn't the happy kids. In fact, the don't worry, be happy kids died the earliest from accidents and preventable illnesses. The kids who lived the longest were the conscientious kids. The kids who said they were going to show up at a certain time and they show up on time. The kids who got their homework done. The kids who were responsible, who actually had a bit of anxiety, because anxiety prevents you from driving at 125 miles an hour down the freeway in the rain, right? You need some anxiety. Obviously, too much, it makes people suffer. So this isn't going to work out. Is it true? I don't know. The second question is, can you absolutely know with 100% certainty it's not going to work out?
No.
No. Third question, how do you feel when you believe the thought it's not going to work out?
Bad. Anxious. Do you feel uncomfortable, impending doom, this sense that, it's overwhelming, you don't want to look at it, you want to turn away, you want to go do things that are fun, that are just easy, immediate gratification, eating the marshmallow immediately. It's sort of all at a limbic level, it's just emotion.
And then how do you treat other people when you believe the thought?
If I were to give into it, you're going to be grumpier, grouchier, shorter with people, or just sullen and quiet.
Yeah, so is it true? I don't know. Can I absolutely know that it's true? No. How do I feel when I believe the thought? Anxious. Worse. I mean, it's fueling the thing that makes you naturally upset. Fourth question is, who would you be or how would you feel if you didn't have the thought? If you couldn't have the thought?
Certainly better, for sure.
Killing the ants it's a biological treatment too, because when you believe these negative thoughts, it changes your physiology immediately. So how would you feel if you didn't have the thought? Better, you said. So the fifth question is my favorite question. It's you take the original thought, this will not work out, and you flip it to the opposite, to the exact opposite, not the narcissistic opposite, which is I will be the best ever. So the opposite of it, this will work out. Do you have any evidence that that's true? If you're thinking about whatever the situation, it won't work out.
Historical performance, sure.
Just like once in your life or more than once?
Depending on what we're talking about, no, it could be years of success at something.
Right. Somebody on my board just this morning, I'm dumb. And then when we switched it to I'm not dumb, she had like 50 reasons why she wasn't dumb, right? But if you don't challenge your thoughts, if you don't question your thoughts, you believe them 100%, and then you act out of the belief. So learning how to clean that up is really important. But sometimes there are remnants of anxiety that are not driven by the negative thoughts, and their diaphragmatic breathing is so important.
Rule number 6, get a brain scan.
Harry Potter and the Cursed Child arrives in Toronto next June. A brave new generation of...
In 1991, I started to do this study called brain SPECT imaging. SPECT looks at blood flow and activity. It looks at how your brain works. So here's an example of a healthy scan. Compare it to someone who was a drug addict. The real reason not to use drugs, they damage your brain. When I saw these scans, they were so awful, I took them home to my 4 children and effectively induced anxiety disorders in all 4 of them when it came to drug abuse. And then I thought, well, I should scan myself. And when I scanned myself at the age of 37, it looked terrible. I'm like, why does my brain look so bad? And I played football in high school. And I had meningitis as a young soldier, and I wasn't sleeping, and I had a lot of bad brain habits. And when I saw my brain, I think everything I've done in my life since then was to make it better. And 20 years later, my brain is fuller, fatter, happier. And the reason is, so when I saw my scan the first time, I developed a concept I call brain envy. See, I'm a psychiatrist by training, and so I had to read Freud. And Freud had this concept of penis envy. And, but he was wrong. He was about 2.5 feet too low in the body. What you really need to care about is the 3 pounds of fat between your ears. And so, as I developed brain envy, I developed this program to do everything I could to have a better brain and a better life. And in fact, I'm so obsessed with it that I got divorced in 2000, and I told myself if I ever got married again, I'm gonna scan, the most important part of this woman's body I wanna see is her brain. So when I met my wife almost 12 years ago, about 2 weeks into our relationship, she's really cute, she's really smart, I really liked her, and I said, "You haven't seen the clinic yet." So she came, she agreed to get scanned, put her in the camera. She had a great brain. So I married her, and it's worked out really well. And the rule in my house is if you date one of my children, for more than 4 months, you have to get scanned. You haven't seen the clinic yet. Don't you want to see the clinic? And so my son-in-laws both have been scanned, and they got to stay and procreate. So the imaging tells us if a brain is healthy, if it's aging too fast, if you have something like Alzheimer's disease brewing in your brain, if it's been injured, if it works too hard or not hard enough. And ultimately, how do you know unless you look? So I've been trying to change the profession by, psychiatry, by come on, you have to look. If you don't look, you don't know. Stop lying about it. Imaging actually completely changed the discussion around mental health for me. I learned no one wants to see a psychiatrist. No one wants to be labeled as defective or abnormal, but everybody wants a better brain. Imaging is really important.
Rule number 7, be aware of negative thoughts.
So let's say you have to read an incredibly long email from your boss that you have to finish before the big meeting.
When people focus on negativity, their memory goes to hell.
Oh,
Isn't that
that's scary.
interesting? So if you focus on what you love about your life, your brain actually works better.
Wait, I can't
than
watch
if you
the news
focus,
anymore?
Oh my goodness.
I can't
This is
scream
like
at the
a
TV
whole
in the
issue
morning.
between us. And the news, I call CNN the crisis news network. They know that people pay attention to fearful thoughts
then I'll just watch
more
Fox.
than they pay attention to healthy thoughts or happy thoughts, because our brain, because of evolution, is wired to pay attention to what might hurt you, what might scare you. And the news actually knows that. And so you will see 9 out of 10 stories to be awful and negative, and somebody's
That's how they
being
get their ratings.
beheaded and so on. So, but if you keep that on and you keep focused on those negative thoughts, you're going to be anxious, stressed, and depressed.
Rule number 8, admit you have a problem.
1994, the NFL formed its concussion committee. But they never sponsored a brain imaging study on players. Instead, they studied rats. They put little tiny helmets on rats. And they whacked them in the head repeatedly with these 50 to 100 gram pellets. Boom, boom, boom. And then they would throw them down laundry chutes. I mean, they were just brutal. And Roger Goodell was in front of Congress in 2009. He said the NFL didn't know if playing football caused long-term brain damage. They were studying the issue. So not really, they were kidding. When he said that, Maxine Waters, the congresswoman from Los Angeles, said, "Commissioner, acting like you're studying traumatic brain injury in football is a conflict of interest. You're like the tobacco companies saying you're studying lung cancer." And the problem with the NFL's position is if you don't admit you have a problem, you can't do anything to solve it. I've known that as a psychiatrist for a long time. If you have a problem with drugs or alcohol or your temper and you don't admit you have that problem, you're not going to fix it, right? The first thing you have to do is admit you have a problem.
Rule number 9, protect your brain.
The cerebellum, I think of it as the Rodney Dangerfield part of the brain. It gets no respect, even though it's 10% of the brain's volume, but has 50% of the brain's neurons. Can you imagine something that has half the brain's neurons actually gets very little coverage in the scientific media?
And so what is the cerebellum doing? Is it to do with coordination?
Well, that's what they used to think. Yeah, coordination, movement. But now we know 80% of it is dedicated to cognition and emotion. So a racket sport, if your wife likes ballroom dancing, become good at it because it's a coordination exercise. And then you want to stimulate it. And there's certain supplements that I actually like theanine, because it helps you feel relaxed, but it really also helps you focus.
And this is over the counter?
Mm-hmm. Rhodiola, ashwagandha, ginseng. We actually make something we like called focus and energy. And we find it stimulates your frontal lobes and your cerebellum at the same time. So, and then stop hurting it. Alcohol is directly toxic to the cerebellum. I mean, that's why they make you try to walk a straight line. You can't because your cerebellum's not working. It's being poisoned. So if you're playing football or your kid's playing football, what they're doing is they're banging their frontal lobes. And there's actually this really cool term I like. It's called cross-cerebellar diaskesis. It's like, whoa. What does that mean? If you hurt your left frontal lobe, it actually turns off your right cerebellum. And if you hurt your right frontal lobe, it turns off the left cerebellum. And if you're heading soccer balls, you're turning off both sides of your cerebellum. So we just have to do so much better at protecting the brain.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is have fun.
There's a pattern to genius. There's a method behind the magic. I always tell.
I just remember how happy I was on the way to church with my wife and daughter. And when we got there, I told Tana, my wife, they said, "Why don't you drop Chloe off at Children's Church? I'll go save us seats." And as I walked toward the sanctuary, I saw hundreds of donuts for sale for charity. And it really irritated me. Because there's not one healthy thing about donuts. And then right around the corner, there was bacon and sausage cooking on the grill. And my brain is like, seriously. And right before I walked into the sanctuary, it's a huge church in Newport Beach, California, where I live. They're cooking hundreds of hot dogs for after church. And now I'm furious because I begin to see I'm going to church to get my soul fed. These bastards are trying to kill me. And then as I sat down, the minister started talking about the ice cream festival they had the night before. And now I'm psychotic. I'm so angry that when my wife finds me in church, I'm typing on my phone and she hates this thing. She thinks of it as the other woman. And she gave me that look, you know, that only your wife can give you. Like, why the hell are you on that thing in church? Don't you know you're going to hell? And so I showed her what I was typing. Go to church and get donuts, bacon, sausage, hot dogs, ice cream. They have no idea they are sending people to heaven early. Save them, then kill them. This is not the plan. And that Sunday, I have no idea what the minister said. I prayed that God would use me to change the culture of food at church. And you'll see throughout this 20 minutes together, I have an attitude problem. And during the prayer, I'm like, this is just the dumbest prayer you've ever prayed. How would that ever happen? You're a psychiatrist, you do imaging, you're trying to change your profession by actually adding medical information rather than diagnosing, you know, mental health issues based on symptom clusters. That sounds stupid. But during the prayer, I just talked back to my attitudinal self and I said, I don't care, it's my prayer. This is wrong. And so what I want to tell you is intention matters. 2 weeks later, no lie, it's exactly how it happened. Pastor Rick Warren from Saddleback Church called me and he said, Dr. Amen, I'm fat. My church is fat. Will you help me? And I'm like, you had me from hello. Together with my friend Mark Hyman, we created a health program for Saddleback Church called the Daniel Plan. It's a church-based healthcare initiative based on 5 pillars: faith, why do you care, food, fitness, focus, which we'll talk about today, which is brain health, and friends. You get sick together, just as you saw at church, or you get better together.
Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you watch a video and just get motivated, the science says you have a 35% chance of actually following through on your goals. That's not good enough. No, not for you, Believe Nation. We got to do something. But when you write it down and you create a specific plan of action for the next week, that number jumps to 91% chance of you following through. And when you commit to somebody else, like leaving a comment on this video, it jumps to 95%. You need to follow through on your goals. So what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your specific plan of action for the next week? Put it down in the comments below so I can celebrate you.